अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन। आज वर्ल्ड माउंटेन्स डे के हवाले से हम लोग आपके साथ हैं और इसके अलावा हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं डॉक्टर अताउर-रहमान साहब, जो कि चेयरमैन हैं और एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर हैं डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ जियोग्राफी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ पेशावर में। इसके अलावा डॉक्टर साहब सेक्रेटरी रह चुके हैं नेशनल करिकुलम रिव्यू कमेटी में डिज़ास्टर मैनेजमेंट के हिसाब से, और डॉक्टर साहब ने पोस्ट डॉक्टरेट किया हुआ है डिजास्टर रिस्क मैनेजमेंट एंड माउंटेन ज्योग्राफी में कोएटो यूनिवर्सिटी जापान से। इसके अलावा डॉक्टर साहब ने एनवायरमेंटल ज्योग्राफी में डॉक्टर ऑफ फिलोसफी की हुई है एंड डॉक्टर साहब बेसिकली गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट भी रहे हैं और डिफरेंट जो एमफिल स्कॉलर्स हैं, एमफिल और पीएचडी स्कॉलर्स, उनके सुपरवाइजर भी रहे हैं और उनके सुपरविजन में तकरीबन 32 से ज़्यादा जो कैंडिडेट्स हैं वो अपनी एमफिल और पीएचडी डिग्रीज कर चुके हैं। बेसिकली अगर हम लोग बात की जाए आज के हवाले से, तो आज पूरी दुनिया में वर्ल्ड माउंटेन्स डे मनाया जा रहा है, जिसका बेसिक मकसद जो बेसिक थीम यूएन ने रखा हुआ है वो है कि माउंटेन बायोडाइवर्सिटी। तो आज इस हवाले से, क्योंकि डॉक्टर साहब ने अपनी पोस्ट पीएचडी जो की हुई है वो इसी टॉपिक पे माउंटेन्स ज्योग्राफी पे है, तो हम लोगों ने डॉक्टर साहब को मदद किया है। ओवर टू यू डॉक्टर साहब।
Thank you, Nisar Khan sir, taking this very important opportunity to celebrate the Mountain Biodiversity Day or Mountain Day. It's really need of the hours, and we, the geographer, must take the lead in celebrating the mountain environment, because mountain geography is one of the most important part of the geography, where we cover both the human aspects and the physical aspects. So mountain geography, where most of our biological diversity persists, where most of the biology of the ecological system that exist. But for today's presentation, I have chosen the topic, and the topic is, we share with you the title. I'm sharing a presentation.
Sure.
So,
आई थिंक सर ऐसे ही स्टार्ट करने थोड़ा सा टॉपिक पे, थीम पे सर। डॉक्टर साहब आवाज आ रही है मेरी सर?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
सर आवाज आ रही थी मेरी सर?
हाँ, आवाज आ रही है, थोड़ा सा वेट कर लीजिए, शेयर हो रहा है। हाँ, वो शेयर हो रहा है, थोड़ा सा वेट कर लेते हैं।
करती थी भाई लाइव में। जी, कुछ टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम की वजह से सर थोड़ा जॉइन कर लेंगे बाद में। तब तक हम लोग थोड़ा माइंड ब्रेन बायोडाइवर्सिटी पे जो यूएन का जो मिशन है उस पे थोड़ी बात कर लेते हैं कि अगर देखा जाए तो जो यूएन ने अभी माउंटेन बायोडाइवर्सिटी के हिसाब से प्रोग्राम किया है उसमें एग्रो बायोडाइवर्सिटी आ जाती है, माउंटेन्स एग्रीकल्चर हैं। इसके अलावा जो माउंटेन्स टूरिज्म है, लैंड यूज जो और क्लाइमेटिक चेंजेस के जो असरात हैं वो माउंटेन्स पे किस तरह से इम्प्लीमेंट हो रहे हैं। अगर देखा जाए तो अर्थ के हिसाब से अगर हम लोग देखें तो हमारी अर्थ का जो 27% है हिस्सा वो तकरीबन माउंटेन्स ने कवर किया हुआ है।
Nisar, can you hear me?
Yes sir, yes sir.
और प्रेजेंटेशन नजर आ रहा है आप लोगों को?
जी जी बिल्कुल आ रहा है सर।
अच्छा, so it means now it is accessible.
Yes sir.
Okay.
Over to you डॉक्टर साहब।
अच्छा, एक सेकेंड। ओके, so Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. The title of today's presentation, it is about the mountains diversity and protecting pulse of the earth. Very interesting topic. Mountains biodiversity and protecting pulse of the earth. Why I kept this is an important part of the today's presentation, because mountains, large scale biological diversities exist, and as a geographers, as a human being, it is our prime responsibility to protect this mountain environment, with special reference to the second part of the presentation. The first one is mountain diversity. The second one is the protecting pulse of the earth. Protecting pulse of the earth, as you know, the north and northwestern part of Pakistan, it is part of the Himalayas, Hindu Kush and Karakoram mountain systems. Outside the polars, North Pole and South Pole, this is also called as the third pole on the earth, where quarter of the world population is living. If you look into the second slide, Himalayas and Hindu Kush and Karakoram mountains, these are actually the, you can see here, Himalayas, Karakoram and Hindu Kush mountains, glaciers and hilly rivers. In this presentation, my focus would be on the Himalayas, Karakoram and Hindu Kush mountain systems, on which 2 billion of the world population depends. And as a geographers, I would like to share the food for thought that protecting our rivers, mountains and glaciers, on which large-scale biological diversity depends. Hindu Kush, Karakoram and Himalayas, also called as water tower of Asia. They are also called as water tower because here you have white coal. White coal means snow and glacier, which is found in the form of freezing temperature. So it is this water. It is this water which recharge our river system. They are also called as the Blue Tower. Sometimes we call it the water towers of Asia. And in this particular region, we have large number of glaciers, small and large glaciers. Only in Peshawar, in Pakistan, we have more than 5,000 small and large glaciers. More than 5,000 small and large glaciers that feed the river systems of Pakistan. And it is these snow and glaciers, they recharge our river system on which life depends. So outside the polar region, the north and south polar region, this is the most important part of the Earth's surface where even the Mount Everest and the higher mountains peaks are located, where the elevation exceed 8,000 meters. Another point, if I go back, you can see here Pakistan, the Indus River system. This is the Indus River drainage basin and the Indus River system. The Afghanistan, the Amo Darya, the Tarim River basin, Ganges, Brahmaputra, Mekong River, Yellow River, Yongtazi River. So all the Irrawaddy River. So all these rivers, they are taking its origin from the Himalayas, Karakoram and Hindu Kush mountain systems. Only in these mountainous areas, 240 million populations are living, means the population more than the Pakistan. Look at this map showing the distribution of the elevations. Pakistan and then the Afghanistan. This is called as the Hindu Kush mountain system. This is the eastern Hindu Kush. This is the western Hindu Kush mountain system. Then in the south there is Himalayas. And then in the north there is Karakoram mountain system. So it starts from Myanmar in the east to as far as Afghanistan in the west. So you can see here is almost 3,500 kilometer Himalayas, Karakoram and Hindu Kush mountain system. The source of 10 large Asian rivers that support population of 240 million. The river basins, it provides water to 1.9 billion people. 1.9 billion means quarter of the world population. Means more than 25% of the world population, they depend upon the HKH region. You can see here this HKH region where quarter of the world population they are living in 8 countries. And this is one of the poorest region of the world, where more than 25% of the world population they are living. If you look into this map showing a diagram showing the upper part and then the middle transition zone and then the floodplain zone. Challenges in meeting the water, food and energy demands, protecting our rivers, mountains and glaciers. HKH region is also called as the Water Tower of Asia. Very interesting part of the HKH region is a Kabul River basin. And this map you can see is a boundary between Afghanistan in the west, Pakistan in the east. This is a boundary line, and the Hindu Kush mountain system, it's spread over the Afghanistan and Pakistan region. So the rivers and the streams, they are taking its origin from the Hindu Kush mountain systems. We call it the Kabul River system. It's a Kabul River system which take its origin from the Hindu Kush mountains. Very important part of the transboundary hydrology means the hydrology which spread over two countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. If you look at Chetral River, it take its origin from Pakistani part of Chetral. From Chetral, it passes through Chetral and then it enter into Afghanistan over here near Arandu. Then in Afghanistan, it confluences with Kabul River, and then finally the Kabul River, along with this Kunad River, it enter into Pakistan. And this is a beautiful valley called as the Peshawar Valley. This Peshawar Valley is very important valley. It supports only in this Peshawar Valley more than 80% of the province population, they are residing in this valley. This small area, 80% of the province population, they are living in this area, and they are entirely dependent upon the river system that take its origin from the Hindu Kush mountain system. Kabul River, 72 kilometers west of Kabul city from Kohe Baba. This is the point from where it's take its origin. And here you can see number of hydropower projects initiated by government of Afghanistan over the Kabul River system. There are some hydropower projects on Chetral River in Pakistan, on Kabul River in Pakistan, but at the same time there are some hydropower projects. Some recently completed, some are under progress in Afghanistan. It's very important not only for Pakistan but also for Afghanistan as well. As I referred earlier, the summary of the glaciers: Swat River Basin, Chetral, Gilgit, Hunza, Shigar, Shyok, Indus, Shingu, Astur, Jhelum. More than 5,000 glaciers. They feed all these river basins and provide water for the Indus River system. These are some of the glaciers that falls in the Swat, Kunad and Panjshir drainage basin. Very important part of the Hindu Kush Himalayan region. You can see here the snow mass balance. This was a situation in 1992, 2000, 2008 and 2016. You can see there is gradual reduction in area under snow cover. The serious threat for our river system, and we need to work on this particular area, that if the same trend continue, we will lose the snow mass balance, and there will be negative implication on large population. So I'm giving you a food for thought, especially for the geographers, that this is one of the interesting area. We need to work out on the snow mass balance in this area, which recharge our river system. So why there is gradual decrease in the snow mass balance? So this is an interesting part. Recently we have carried out a study, and in this study, the spatio-temporal variability in climatic parameter and its impact on snow mass balance in Himalayas, Karakoram, Hindu Kush region, North Pakistan during 2001 to 2015. So snow cover frequency and snow lines. This data, it was collected from the Moody's satellite image in order to find out the elevation change in the snow cover. If the snow altitude is increasing, it is directly indication that there is mass balance decrease in the snow cover and snow area. So we have recently carried out this study, and the trend indicate that there is gradual decrease in the area under the snow mass balance. There is a serious threat, and we can attribute this to the climate change scenario. Another very important part of the pulse of the universe, pulse of the earth, that is the glaciers. You can see here, this is the Baltoro and the K2 glaciers. They join each other. The confluence point of both Baltoro and K2 glaciers. This point is also called as the hanging valley in glacial landforms, where two glaciers confluence, and this is the medial moraines. So under the Karakoram anomaly in the Himalayas, Karakoram and Hindu Kush region, there is gradual decrease in the area under glaciers. They are gradually in some areas. The area under glacier, it is shrinking, while in other areas it is expanding. Means there is positive regime of the glaciers, while in some areas there is negative regiment of the glaciers. This is one of the pictures showing the distribution of glaciers and monitoring of glaciers, whether there is positive regiment of the glaciers or there is negative regime of the glacier. So that can easily be detected with the help of satellite images. Here is a picture you can see here. In front of the glaciers, there are some glacial lakes. And these are the lakes which cause potential threat to the downstream areas. With such kind of lakes, it burst. So the downstream area, it is affected and influenced. So this is called as the glacial lake. And when it causes flood, we call it the glacial lake outburst floods. This is a map showing the distribution of glacial lakes. You can see here in some areas you have large lakes, in some area you have comparatively small lakes. And you can see some small points, so many small points and dots that indicate the distribution of glacial lakes. And these glacial lakes, the number is increasing, but some of the glacier lakes, they have high potential for the floods. So this is another key area which need to be explored by the geographers. Particularly, it's very important for the physical geographers to work on the glacial lakes. One of the potential areas to be studied. Very interesting part of the potentially dangerous glacial lakes. So you can see the distribution of those lakes which have high potential to cause damages. So you can see some of the basins, Chatral River basins, Swat River basins. Some other small river basins are there and the Indus River basin. So you can see here the potential lakes, the distribution of potential lakes, glacial lakes. In the Hindu Kush and Himalayan region, particularly in the Hindu Kush region, you can see in the Khyber River basin, some temperature analysis already been carried out by some of my students. You can see here the temperature for the month of January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September till December. So you can see here the hottest months include the May, June, July, and August, including the September. These are the hottest months, whereas January, February, and December, November, December, these are the coldest months. We have analyzed this temperature with special reference to the snow mass balance, because when there is precipitation in the form of snow, it ultimately starts melting during summer. So it is very important for the distribution of temperature in this particular region. Now again, seasonal wise distribution. And you can see here some of the arrows. You can see here the triangle downward showing the negative trend of the rainfall. Means in some meteorological stations, there is gradual decrease in the rainfall. While there are some meteorological stations, like if you look into Chatral, during summer season, there is rising trend in the rainfall occurrence. And this white dot, it indicates there is no trend at all. So seasonally, it is also being analyzed. Then you can see here Mann-Kendall trend test, Spearman-Rowe analysis, showing the distribution of mean monthly rainfall. So the same has been attributed to various climatic parameters. Flood is one of the recurrently occurring disaster in this Hindu Kush region. So we have carried out study on the flood disasters. So flash flood is one of the recurrently occurring phenomena in this particular region. So we need to carry out research on the flash flood disasters, particularly in the Himalayas and Hindu Kush region, where flash flood is a regularly occurring phenomenon. You can see here a beautiful map showing the distribution of snow-clad mountains, the beautiful valleys, and the lush green areas in the Hindu Kush region. While analyzing the climatic parameters, very interesting and supporting part is that in this region, there are 15 meteorological stations, and the data for all these 15 meteorological stations are available, and that can easily be carried out and link with other geographical parameters. So the temperature, rainfall, the snowfall data for all these meteorological stations. You can see the distribution of met stations. Chatral, Dor, Drosh, Dir, Temargara, Sedu, Malamjaba, Patan, Kalam, Balakot, Kakul, Cherat, Peshawar, even Raisalpur, Padachinar, Banu and Di Khan. These are some of the meteorological stations that falls in the Hindu Kush region. Himalayas and Hindu Kush, more than 7,000 meter peaks, and these peaks support numerous glaciers, snow-clad mountains, headwater regions, and that support almost 20 million population. Very interesting part of the flood disaster that hit their region in 2010. You can see this is beautiful Swat Valley, and you can see here the river is flowing just close to the built-up area. This is a settlement. So means is part of the active floodplain. So you can see here how rapidly they are changing their river course. But at the same time, humans are continuously encroaching over the active floodplain. Another very important part of the presentation is rapid deforestation. This deforestation is going on because this region hosts lush green coniferous and softwood forest, and which is at stake. And a serious threat is there to these fragile forests. And we are ruthlessly destroying these forest resources. This is what I would like to request the geographers to specially carry out research on the change in forest cover and identify which particular region is it more highest threat. Because if we destroy these forest resources, it will have a negative implications. Like for example, if you look into this, see here, if you destroy the forest, you will have this soil erosion. When there is soil erosion, it will block the roads, and ultimately this soil erosion or the sediments, it will become part of the river runoff. When it will become part of the river runoff, finally it will be silted in the river channels and it will fill the river channel. So I mean it is a serious threat to the channel capacity and to the dams capacity as well. Similarly, when there is flood, you can see here what happens. It destroys bridges. You can see here so many bridges. It uproot trees. So means a flashy torrents and flashy rivers. It usually block the bridges by tree trunks and stop water, and dams develop behind these bridges. You can see here, these are the tree trunks, and these tree trunks, it stuck in these bridges, and dams was developed behind these bridges. And ultimately, the level of water, it increased to a certain level. It reached a certain level, and finally, these bridges, it was destroyed. So blockage of bridges by tree trunk, it was another very important phenomena that caused large-scale damages to the people and property during 2010 flood. 2010 flood, see here on River Swat, this was the highest discharge recorded. See here 1983 to 2010. Then from 1929 to 2010 means almost 80 years data is here, you can see. But the recorded discharge, it is even higher than all the recorded history. Kabul River at Varsak, again you can see here even higher than the 1922 flood, 1924 flood, 1965 floods. Again, Kabul River at Nowshera. Again, you can see ever highest, even double than 1965 flood. It was recorded. You can see here the whole. Now these are the bridges. It was destroyed by 2010 flood. Very interesting part of the 2010 flood was here. You can see the flood level. The bushes, it was stuck in these tree trunks. So this was the level of flood in 2010. This is Nowshera. You can see the level of flood in Nowshera. This is district Charsadda. You can see the filling station, and this was the level of flood water. This is Bala River. This is the gauging station, but this was the level of flood. Very interesting. Means it has broken all the past records. Now, what we need to do, we need to work for the water storages, because water is one of the precious resource of this HKH region. So there are several dams already being proposed, and some study has already been carried out. You can see here the existing dams like Tarbela, Mangla Dam is here, Varsak Dam is here, but some other dams they are proposed like Ahuri, Kalaba, and then the Basha Deamir Dam, Kalzara Dam. So these are some of the dams which are proposed. And we need to build some more dams. Like for example, on Swat River, there is another river, Muhammad Dam, which is under construction nowadays. And we do hope very soon we will be able to get storage in the Kabul River system. Now, how to find out the suitable site? So recently, one of my students has published the paper. They carried out this study when they were in BS Geomatics program, identification of potential sites for a multi-purpose dam using a dam suitability stream model. So you can see here 5 parameters they have selected, including the stream model, the slope, elevation, land use, land cover, and then the geology. Based on these 5 parameters, he reclassified the layer. You can see here this is reclassified, and for this very study he has carried out this study in the Panchkola river basin. You can see here Panchkola lies, this is Pakistan, this is KP province, and this KP province, this is Panchkola river basin. This here you can see Panchkola river basin. Now how he carried out this analysis and how they extracted the suitable site. You see here 2 suitable sites they have identified. One is over here, another is over here. So these 2 suitable sites have been identified. In addition to that, there are 4 other sites, potential other sites are also there. But for these 2 areas, they have carried out detailed analysis. So these are the details of these analysis. You can see here the first one. You can see here this one. This is the first one. The catchment area of this point, you can see here. Then the digital elevation model, triangulation irregular network, and then the slope, and then the contours, and then the land use, land cover, and then finally you can see here the dam site in 3D view. Similarly, for another site, you can see here is also carried out for the, this is the catchment area, and similarly all the parameters, and finally dam sites in 3D view. So this is the last slide. Keeping in view this pulse of the universe, pulse of the earth, we must also work on the climatic parameters, including the drought pattern, whether there is decrease in the snow mass balance or there is decrease or retreat in the glaciers. So this is one of the study already started by Kurratulain. In this study, a diagnostic evaluation of drought pattern, trend and prediction in Pakistan using multiple approaches and cortex simulations. She will try to carry out to analyze the SPI index, standardized precipitation evapotranspiration index, Mann-Kendall trend model, Spearman row model, sense slope estimator, and cortex model. Based on these analysis, she will carry out the analysis of the drought pattern, trend, and prediction in Pakistan. What happens in 2010 flood? This is Pakistan. You can see here one stream of the winds from the Kunlun side, cyclone fit, and there was another trend of the monsoon. All these three streams, they merge over here, northern part of Pakistan. And because of merging of these three weather systems, we have received plenty of rainfall during 2010 flood. These are the situations and the distribution of meteorological station and the radar stations of the Pakistan Meteorological Department. We are also working. I'm also working on this particular point to install some of the automatic gauging stations over the catchment area of Kabul River system and to carry out analysis on the hydro gauging stations and to calculate the torrential and suitable potentials of the flood disasters in this region. So we already started work on this particular aspect. So we are going to install the real-time sensor-based automatic hydro gauging stations on rivers and torrents at suitable locations. Thank you.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर साहब और इंतहा फ्रूटफुल सेक्शन था तकरीबन सभी लोगों के लिए सर और स्पेशली हम सब के लिए भी इसके अलावा भी हमें कुछ क्वेश्चंस थ्रू कमेंट्स मौसूल होने लगे हैं मोहम्मद साहब ने पूछा है हाउ एंड व्हाई द माउंट एवरेस्ट हाइट इज डिक्रीजिंग
Hello, can you hear me?
यस सर सर अजीज महमूद साहब ने दो क्वेश्चंस हमें थ्रू कमेंट्स में भेजे हैं अजीज मोहम्मद साहब ने फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन उनका है कि हाउ एंड व्हाई द माउंट एवरेस्ट हाइट इज डिक्रीजिंग Yes, sir. They are mentioning decreasing.
It's not decreasing.
But I think we are listening in the news that the height is increasing.
Yes. ये जो है नेपाल और चाइना की जो है एक्सपीडिशन सर्वे उन्होंने की है, ज्यूडेटिक सर्वे उन्होंने की है रिसेंटली और वो सर्वे कंप्लीट करने के बाद ये एक ऐसा पॉइंट है माउंट एवरेस्ट के जिसका जो है नॉर्दर्न साइड जो है वो चाइना में है और सादर्न साइड जो है उसका नेपाल में है। तो नेपाल की तरफ से लोग जाते हैं और माउंट एवरेस्ट को सर करते हैं। तो सर्वे कंडक्ट किया गया बाय चाइनीज एंड नेपालीज एंड रिसेंटली दे कैलकुलेटेड दैट द न्यू हाइट इज 8,848.8 meter above mean sea level. So as per their estimates, the height of Mount Everest it has been increased. As you know, this region is tectonically very active, but at the same times, sometime you will find in literature that the height is up to the snow covered height. Means when there is snowfall, the top of the snow is considered as the highest point of the Mount Everest. But when that snow melts, obviously the mountain means the physical cover it is exposed, and then you say this is the real position of the Mount Everest. So when you remove the snow cover part, the physical part, even then it has been increased because the region is tectonically very active. But very important point in this region is that this region receives plenty of snowfall, and because of that snowfall there is continuous erosion by the snow. Because the snow are melting, they are eroding the surfaces. Because the Himalayas are increasing at a rate of almost 2 to 5 centimeter per year. So this 2 to 5 centimeter is also erosion as well. So almost there is erosion, aggradation and degradation. It is most often it is equal. But this region is tectonically very active. Ji, I
और
think
सर अजीज मोहम्मद साहब का एक और क्वेश्चन था, हाउ टू अट्रैक्ट टूरिस्ट टू सी द ब्यूटीफुल वैलीज एंड लैंडस्केप्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान। आई थिंक थोड़ा इससे माउंटेन्स के हट से हट के था टॉपिक के हवाले से, लेकिन यही उनका है कि हम लोग अट्रैक्ट किस तरह से कर सकते हैं लोगों को कि वो ब्यूटीफुल वैलीज की तरफ मूव करें, देखने के लिए आए।
बहुत ज़बरदस्त क्वेश्चन आपने पूछा है अजीज साहब। जो खूबसूरती जो है इस पल्स ऑफ द अर्थ में है, इस हिमालयाज, हिंदू कुश और कराकोरम रीजन में है, ये दुनिया की किसी और रीजन में नहीं है। लेकिन पाकिस्तान टूरिज्म डेवलपमेंट कॉरपोरेशन, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिक्योरिटी, awareness creation, accessibility, these are some of the areas that need to be explored, and these are the potential areas that need to be addressed properly. As a geographer, I would like to request the geographers from Skardu, from Gilgit-Baltistan region, from Chitral region, from Swat region, from Dir region, from Galyat region, and from Kashmir region, Azad Jammu and Kashmir region, from Muzaffarabad region. So I mean these are the areas which have lush green beautiful valleys. It attract population, and if they organize international conferences there, so obviously that will be a very good opportunity for the geographers to go there and visit and see the beauty of nature.
आई थिंक
So
सर अगर देखा जाए तो हम लोग हमले जितने भी जोग्राफर्स वगैरह हैं वो एम्बेसडर्स हैं अपने पाकिस्तान की रिप्रेजेंटेशन करने के लिए। और आजकल जैसा देखा जाए कि सोशल मीडिया में लगा हुआ है, तो हम लोग ऐसी टूरिस्ट स्पॉट्स की कुछ ब्यूटीफुल वीडियोस वगैरह बना के लोगों को इजीली अट्रैक्ट कर सकते हैं कि वो पाकिस्तान की तरफ आए और उन टूरिस्ट स्पॉट का विजिट करें।
very good. Yes, you are right.
और सर इसके अलावा शफकत का एक क्वेश्चन आया है हमारे पास, शफकत रसूल का, कि हाउ मच माउंटेन्स आर beneficial for earth and living things।
How much?
Mountains are beneficial for earth and living things।
Means you are asking about the how much area should be under mountains. Is it like this?
Yes sir, I think।
हाँ, थोड़ा सा मैं जो है कुछ शेयर करूं
Yes sir।
कि जमीन के ऊपर लैंड मास कहते हैं। इस लैंड मास के ऊपर जो है 8 बिलियन पॉपुलेशन, इनमें से 50% population they are living in cities. और ये population जो 50% of the world population की है, they are living on mere 1% of the total earth surface. I'm repeating. जमीन के ऊपर जो 4 billion means half of the world population है, they are living on cities and towns which occupies only 1% of the total land mass. इसका ये मतलब हुआ कि बाकी 50% of the world population वो 99% एरिया के ऊपर रह रहे हैं और 50% of the world population वो सिर्फ 1% एरिया के ऊपर रह रहे हैं। और इसके ऊपर जो है कहते हैं कि 10% of the world population they are living over 3000 meter above sea level. अब जो है ये population जो है it is supported by large biological diversities in these mountains. तो इन्हीं mountains में जितने भी लोग रहते हैं इनकी डिपेंडेंस जो है, इनकी लाइवलीहुड जो है, इनकी जिंदगियां जो है इन्हीं माउंटेन्स के ऊपर डिपेंड करती है। स्केर्स एग्रीकल्चर लैंड, मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स, लश ग्रीन वैलीज, वाटर, ये सारी चीजें हैं, मिनरल रिसोर्सेस, ऑल दिस सपोर्ट द लोकल पॉपुलेशन। तो माउंटेन्स के लिए जो है आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि the entire earth should be under mountains। फिर आपके साथ जो है आप इंडस्ट्रीज कहाँ पे बनाएंगे? तो इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए सबसे सूटेबल एरिया तो प्लेन एरियाज हैं। एग्रीकल्चर आप कहाँ पे काश्त करेंगे? बिकॉज यू नीड टू सपोर्ट द पॉपुलेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ फूड सिक्योरिटी। तो जैसे जो है नेचर ने 30% ऑफ द अर्थ सरफेस जो है इट इज अंडर माउंटेन्स, so that is a balanced distribution over the earth surface. Okay.
सर मेरा एक इतना क्वेश्चन था कि अगर देखा जाए कि माउंटेन्स के हवाले से देखा जाए तो डिफॉरेस्टेशन की वजह से जो वहाँ पे एनिमल्स वगैरह या जो भी बायोडाइवर्सिटी के हवाले से अगर देखा जाए परिंदे हैं या कुछ भी हैं, तो उन सब पे क्या असरात पड़ रहे हैं इन चीज़ों के जो डिफॉरेस्टेशन हो रही है? मोस्टली जो हमारे एनिमल्स वगैरह जो प्रेजेंट ज़्यादातर माउंटेन्स पे होते ही हैं।
यस, डिफॉरेस्टेशन की जो है बहुत ज़्यादा नेगेटिव इम्प्लीकेशंस हैं। माउंटेन्स के ऊपर जितने भी फॉरेस्ट कवर होते हैं, वेजिटेशन कवर, इट इज़ सोर्स ऑफ इवापोट्रांसपिरेशन। यहाँ से इवापोरेशन होती है एंड इट एंटर इनटू द एटमॉस्फेयर और इज द सोर्स ऑफ evapotranspiration. यानी water vapor it enter into the atmosphere and it modify the microclimate. Similarly, यही forest resources जो है it binds, इसकी जो roots हैं it binds the soil and protecting it from the erosion. Second, third, इसी जो है जहाँ कहीं आपके साथ जो है vegetation cover होती है वहाँ जब रेनफॉल पड़ती है तो मोस्ट ऑफ दिस रेन वाटर इट इज absorbed and imbibed by the soil cover and very little it enter into the runoff, so it usually check the river runoff. Another, when there is evapotranspiration from this forest cover and it is high altitudinal area, so there will be precipitation in the form of snow. It will increase the beauty of the mountain peaks. So it recharges our river systems. So many things you can find the medicinal plants in these forests. You can find the wildlife in these forests. You can find the mineral resources, you can find the agroecological zones. So many aspects you can find in these mountainous regions.
और सर डिफॉरेस्टेशन की वजह जो वाइल्ड लाइफ हमारी है उस पर ज्यादातर क्या इम्पैक्ट्स आ रहे हैं? मोस्टली तो अगर हम लोग ने देखा जाए कि जैसे कुछ इंडिया में या जो अदर कंट्रीज हैं तो उनमें अभी ज्यादातर डिफॉरेस्टेशन की वजह से जो चीतास वगैरह की तादाद होती है वो मूव कर रही है अर्बन सिटीज की तरफ या उनकी सिटीज की तरफ। तो क्या इस तरह के इम्प्लीमेंटेशन आगे चल के डिफॉरेस्टेशन की वजह से पाकिस्तान में भी नजर आ रहे हैं कुछ ऐसी चीजें कि एनिमल्स जो है मूव करते जाएंगे सिटीज की तरफ या इन चीजों की तरफ से?
गलियात रीजन में अगर आप देखें, जिसको हम अयूबिया नेशनल पार्क कहते हैं, इस रीजन में पहले जो है टाइगर्स हुआ करते थे। चंद 2004-5 में इन्होंने गवर्नमेंट ने जो है वहाँ पे छोड़े, फिर इनकी जो है नस्ल बढ़ती गई। कहते हैं कि अब उनकी तादाद तकरीबन 70-80 तक पहुँच गई है। तो कहते हैं कि इसकी तादाद जो ही बढ़ती गई तो लोग जब डिफॉरेस्टेशन किया करते थे, वो ओपन एरियाज में जाते थे और डिफॉरेस्टेशन करते थे। इन्हीं टाइगर्स की वजह से जो है फॉरेस्ट की प्रोटेक्शन हुई है, वो कम हो गई है। तो these are some of the positive implications of these.
यस सर, यस।
Okay.
सर अजीज अहमद साहब ने एक और क्वेश्चन भेजा है, अजीज मोहम्मद साहब ने, कि height the height peaks are shown as above the clouds, then how snowfalls occurs over them? I think it's related with climate.
क्या है, दोबारा बताएं?
The highest peaks are shown as above the clouds, then how snowfall occurs over them? उनका कहने का मतलब है कि अगर हाईएस्ट पीक्स जो है हमारी क्लाउड से अबोव हैं तो जो स्नोफॉल होती है वो वहां पे किस तरह से हो रही होती है?
वेरी गुड, इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन पूछा है उसने। ये जो अगर माउंट एवरेस्ट अगर आप देखें तो उसके ऊपर जो है स्नोफॉल पड़ती हैं। तो स्नोफॉल इसलिए पड़ती हैं कि ये स्नो बियरिंग क्लाउड्स जो है इनकी अल्टीट्यूड उससे ज़्यादा है।
Yes.
और इस वजह से इसके ऊपर जो है स्नोफॉल पड़ती है। जी,
I think the question sections is now we are ending because
वेरी
कुछ
गुड।
और क्वेश्चंस वगैरह नहीं आ रहे सर। तमाम जो हमारे सुनने वाले हैं उनका भी शुक्रिया, और सर आपका मोस्टली तमाम बेहद ज़्यादा शुक्रिया कि आपने हमें टाइम दिया इस वैल्यूएबल मौके पे। और जितने भी हमारे व्यूअर्स हैं आई थिंक उन्होंने बहुत ही ज़्यादा मुफीद होंगे। और ये जो सेक्शन हमारा है ये फेसबुक पे हमारा अपलोड होगा। अगर किसी को फिर भी कोई दुश्वारी है या कोई कुछ भी है तो वो कमेंट्स के जरिए हमें सेंड कर सकते हैं, हम उनके आंसर्स जो डॉक्टर साहब से पूछ के आप लोगों को सेंड कर सकते हैं।
थैंक यू। इंशाल्लाह वी विल बी इन टच। एंड ये जो प्रेजेंटेशन थी आज की, निसार एंड हिज टीम ने जो अरेंज की थी, मेरा मकसद ये नहीं था कि आप लोगों को एजुकेट कर लूं, लेकिन मेरी इंटेंशन यही थी कि टू गिव यू सम फूड फॉर थॉट्स, ताकि आप इसके ऊपर सोचें। एंड इफ यू आर वर्किंग ऑन योर रिसर्च टॉपिक फॉर योर MS, MPhil और PhD, और अपनी तरफ से जो है अगर आप कोई रिसर्च कर रहे हैं तो यू मस्ट हैव सम पोटेंशियल रिसर्च
Yes, it's
टॉपिक्स।
really fruitful for us.
यस, तो इट वाज जस्ट फॉर फूड फॉर थॉट्स। तो इंशाल्लाह हमारा राब्ता रहेगा। वी विल बी इन टच एंड वी विल शेयर आवर thoughts
And
in future as well.
so inshallah in future we are organizing more webinars on different topics.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Jazakallah.
much, all listeners.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz. Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.